Before we dive into this episode, we wanted to take the opportunity to say a heartfelt thank you for being here. Whether you've been with us from the very beginning when we started this podcast in 2019 or you're new, welcome.
We hope you enjoy what you hear, and if you do, please download it, share it with friends, and leave a review. It really helps us get better guests and share the midlife love.
Hi everyone. So this week it's just me, Claire, as I fly solo, having a very real conversation about something that's been on my heart and my mind. So unless you live under a rock, you may have noticed that the world feels as though it's spinning faster and getting louder by the day. One minute it's a new disaster, the next it's more division, more fear, more noise, more hate. There's this collective heaviness many of us are carrying, whether we consciously know it or not. A mix of sadness, anxiety, overwhelm, all whilst trying to keep our own lives, relationships and hearts steady. And it's a lot. We're not imagining it. We are living through extraordinary times. So today I want to acknowledge that and chat about how we might navigate this turbulence without losing our peace. I'll share some simple but powerful frameworks you can lean on and some personal reflections from my own life. My hope is that by the end, you'll feel a little more anchored, a little more clear, and reminded that you're not walking through this alone. So grab a cup of tea, take a deep breath, and let's dig in.
Hi, I'm James Davis.
And I'm Claire Davis.
We're the Midlife Mentors, here to lift the lid on how to achieve health and happiness.
The balanced, no-nonsense way. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Midlife Mentors with me, Claire. Just me, Claire. I have left Mr. D chilling out and relaxing because he has been really full on in the last month. And we were a bit late recording this podcast anyway. And I just said to him, do you know what? I'll just jump on, record something and you can chill out. So I will miss him. So I hope, that this solo podcast comes up to standard. Anyway, if you're watching this on video, you might wonder why I'm sitting on the floor in our bedroom. It's actually more comfortable than sitting on a chair for me at the moment because I've hurt my back. It's like unheard of. I never hurt my back. So I don't know how that's happened. It's been about a week. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm pretty much in denial about any injuries, which is very stupid and not what I teach our clients at all. So I'm a massive hypocrite when it comes to injury. I don't get it sorted straight away. So yes, there we are, sharing that vulnerable flaw of mine. But yes, I do need to get it sorted out. Anyway, we've been so super busy in the last couple of weeks. Lots going on. We've got our retreat coming up in about a week and a half. There is still space. You can still join us if you are feeling like you need some space from the craziness of life to figure out what's next for you, whether you just need to step back, clear your head, spend some time in nature with like-minded people and people that can support you on this next stage of your journey, even if you don't know what that looks like, with, that love and support and that kindness and being able to see things that you cannot see because you're too close to it. So if there's something going on in your life right now, our retreat's on the 9th to the 12th of October. Is perfect for you. We've got really lovely people joining us. So yeah, reach out, team at themidlifementors.com if you're like, oh my goodness, yes, spontaneous. I need a break. I need a break from all this. And I want to go and spend some time with Claire and James. Let us know. Anyway, so kind of leading on from that really, I suppose what I wanted to talk about today, when I thought I will probably do this podcast on my own, I thought, well, what's on my heart at the moment? So much. It's very difficult to distill it down, really. But I think I just wanted to acknowledge and speak into the fact that this is a crazy, crazy time in the history of the world. And there are probably many, many times when our ancestors have said exactly the same. But I do feel that with the rise of technology and how society, society's expectations of how we live, social media, so much stuff, so much stuff. I do feel like every time it's going to be different, right? So our ancestors experienced different challenges, but this is the age of technology, which has its own very unique challenges, I believe. And I suppose I just want to speak into the fact that it's going to impact us all in a very, very different way. Unless you live under a rock, you will be very aware that it might feel like the world is going to hell in a handcart. There is something new almost every day. A new disaster, a new thing to be anxious about, a new thing to fear, wars. I mean, just it's absolutely crazy, isn't it? And we can't deny that there just seems to be so much polarization, so much anger, so much angst, so much anxiety, very, very black and white thinking as far as I can see. You're either this or you're that. There's no space there's doesn't seem no one else seems to be able to hold space anymore. The media doesn't present this, where people don't necessarily have to be this or that, but they can actually hold two things and two things can be true at the same time. It's either you're left, you're right, you're pro this or not pro this. And actually, we've lost the ability to understand that there are ways that we can live in the middle of that. And just because you support one thing or believe one thing, it doesn't mean to say that you can't believe something else at the same time. So people are putting people in boxes. That's one of the things I really see. If you go online, this is the thing about technology. You go online at the click of a finger, you can see the amount of anger and division, which only builds up this feeling of stress, of anxiety, of worry about what the future holds. And I have to say, I don't know about you, but I feel like it's speeding up. It's like I said, there's something new every day, and we're kind of trying to keep our souls at peace, our minds at peace, our hearts at peace, our relationships at peace, our life ticking along with all this background noise of fear, anxiety. Some of it, very, very real. Let's not deny that some of this is very real, and we have a right. Of course, as human beings, we love safety, we love certainty, we love security. So of course, when anything's rocking that apple cart, we're going to feel that sense of, oh my goodness, how's this impacting me personally? There's almost like a sadness for what's going on in the world. So we're holding like a collective sadness and a collective fear, as well as our own fear of how that impacts our own life, our own families, and all that kind of stuff. So we're holding a lot. I just really want to recognize that. And so today, I don't really know where this is going. I will probably I have got a bit of a structure, but I wanted to give you basically four R's in order, I suppose, for you to reflect on what's going on for you right now, and I suppose give you some tools or reflections or something to be able to navigate this incredibly hard, weird time that we are in. So the four R's are recognize, root, reinforce, and radiate. So the first one is recognize the turbulence. I think that's what we've just done together. Recognizing that this is extraordinary times that we live in, really extraordinary times. Never has it been more important to be resilient. And that word is something that I use more and more frequently at the moment. I think it has a bad rap, especially in the corporate environment, where people are like, oh, do resilience training. Let's make more resilient employees and a workforce that's more resilient. But resilience isn't just about a toolkit that you can pick up once you're in mega stress and burnout. Resilience is about building strength in every area of our life for when the storms come, so that we're already prepared, so that we don't just pick it up when we're going through really, really difficult times or in anxiety or stress. We actually are building these things into our life so that we are able to handle them and cope with them when they come. So it's really important that resilience isn't just seen as some tick boxy woo-woo thing. It's about that spiritual, mental, physical and emotional resilience that is built over time. It's not a quick fix. You're not going to feel resilient straight away. There's going to be areas that you're stronger in than others. You might be stronger in mind than you are spiritually. whatever. But it's actually really, really important that we look at that across the board. And just saying that, I do think James and I will do a podcast specifically on resilience together. I'd like to do that with him actually. But so recognizing the turbulence is really important. I want to just say, I don't want to overdo this because everyone was talking about Charlie Kirk, and that doesn't mean to say that it shouldn't have been talked about. It was horrific. The assassination of Charlie Kirk was absolutely horrific. And I did a post actually on LinkedIn that said, we as human beings, we are not designed to look at a man being shot in the neck and bleeding out and then go straight back to TikTok and start looking at funny cat videos. We have become completely desensitized to things that make us human, that should make us human. You know, as human beings, that's we're not meant to see that and then go straight back to our everyday life. And actually, I would say on a soul level, on a cellular level, we are really impacted by that. And then we hold it in and just carry on watching cat videos. But actually, our soul's seen it, our mind has seen it, our heart has seen it. But we're so distracted and so desensitized that we've normalized these things that we now see online. But we're not meant to. We're not meant to live like that. I genuinely believe physiologically, spiritually, everything, we are not meant to do that and just go, oh yeah. And then obviously seeing how some people reacted online, the disgusting way that they spoke about him, whether you agreed with not policies, but his arguments and his one of the things actually I would say is he didn't argue. He was a massive advocate for free speech and for having conversations, whether you agreed with all of his stuff or not. I mean, I have to say some of his stuff I didn't agree with, and some of the stuff I did. But that doesn't mean to say that I would hope that, you know, or celebrate that guy dying. I mean, it was absolutely horrific. So I think that brought into stark contrast, you know, I don't know, the human psyche at the moment, maybe. And whether you again thought about it deeply or not, I believe that you would have felt it. Like so many things, I believe you are feeling it. I believe we are all feeling this collective like trauma. But then just carrying on with our lives and scrolling through social media. So recognizing the turbulence and not denying it, and actually not trying to over positize it. I can't even say the words, but not pretend that it doesn't exist, that you're okay with it, that you're as strong as an ox and it doesn't impact you. I Obviously we have to get on with our life, but I do also think we need to give space to what's really going on and know that it's impacting us, be okay with it impacting us, be kind about the fact that it might have impacted some of this stuff. It impacts our mood, our central nervous system. We're on a heightened state of alert, without a doubt. Without a doubt, our central nervous system, our body is in a heightened state of alert a lot more than, say, I reckon 10 years ago, 15 years ago, all of us, especially since COVID. So recognizing the turbulence, that's the first one. I'm getting crampy in my foot now. And the next one is root yourself in truth. Now, I would say here, you know, it's really, really important during turbulent times to realize that it does create a sense of distorted thinking, you know, that everything is falling apart. We seem to over catastrophize, you know, even in our own lives, we over catastrophize. Everything is falling apart. I can't cope. No one else feels this way. It's all useless. We're all going to die anyway. There's going to be another world war, all of this stuff. But here's what I would encourage you to do. Root yourself in the truth. Challenge over catastrophizing with facts. Name reality clearly without fear letting it be exaggerated. Because I tell you what, turn on the news and you would think that it's all awful, all of it. That it's news for they only, I think I've seen one positive news story in the last, oh my goodness, 2 months. We don't see positive news stories anymore as a norm. So if you listen to the news, watch the news, see it on social media, read it, you are going to, of course, think that the world is literally nearly coming to an end and it's all useless and everyone is evil. But is that really the truth? Are you being fed this fear and anxiety, whereas actually it also is true that there are a lot of good things going on in the world. There are a lot of good people in the world. There are lots of things to be thankful for. Um, and I also think grounding in the present moment is really, really important rather than constantly worrying about the future. So saying to ourselves, right now, I'm safe, I have breath, and I have agency. Right now, I'm okay right now. And the world is going to constantly want to pull you into worrying about the future always. And so I'll give you an example. I remember during lockdown, one morning I was massively spiraling, like most of us, on the what ifs, and I literally had to stop myself and I took a breath and I said out loud to myself, "What is true right now, though, Claire? Like, what is true right now?" And I had my coffee in my hand. Lola was asleep by me. And I thought, in this moment, I have a delicious coffee. I have an amazing husband. I have my little doggy sitting next to me. And I suppose there was this sense of gratitude and a sense of peace for what I can control, what I have right now. So truth, I would say, often lives in the present moment. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We do not know. One thing is that is certain is the world is uncertain. That's Uncertainty is the absolute certain that we don't know, we can't control. And so imagining these future disasters or where they're even going to go and how they're going to play out is really futile because we can't do anything about that. And so anchoring yourself in the truth of the present moment really is what I wanted to say there is so, so important. The next one is reinforce. So reinforcing your emotional boundaries. First and foremost, guard your inner world. One of the things I do ask myself a lot of the time is, especially being a coach and especially being a real empath, and I love people. I always want to make people feel better. I was going to give them a hug and all that kind of stuff. But notice if you're taking on other people's emotions. Is this feeling mine, or did I pick it up from somewhere else? And like I can tell you as a coach, often I love doing it. I absolutely love it. But one of the things I learned was I have to release. I've got a little practice that I do to release some of the emotions afterwards. I love holding space for them, but it doesn't mean to say that I carry that on throughout my day. It's going to be very detrimental to me as a coach if I do. So just ask yourself, where did these feelings come from? Are they even mine? Did I pick them up from someone else? Someone else worrying all the time, flapping around you? What's these people's energy like? Limit over explaining or people pleasing. We did a podcast on this last week. Don't over explain yourself or people please during these stressful times. You don't owe anyone access to your energy unless you choose it. And I know that sounds really harsh and really easier said than done, but it's one of the key skills as we get to midlife, particularly. We have to learn how to understand where to place our energy and know that no one has access to that unless you give it to them. It might feel like they're energy vampires and they drain it, but you are complicit in giving it to them. So it's a real piece, when I work with coaching clients and stuff, it's a real piece to look at what they want in their life, but then actually map their energy against those things. And I'm like, well, no wonder you are not experiencing the life you want because all your energy is going over here, but you're saying you want it to go over here. So how can we get it to go over here? So yeah, it's really important to understand that you do have power over who accesses your energy. So stop over explaining it. Give yourself permission to say no without the guilt as well. That's practice, by the way. And some people, it's going to be easier than others, like we said on our podcast like last week. If you haven't listened to that and you are a people pleaser and you don't seem to be able to get out of it, like most of us, then do go back and listen to that podcast because it's a corker, actually. It's really good. We had some really nice feedback from it. So, yeah, as I said, I used to take on people's anxieties as if they were my own. But now when I feel that wave rising, I do quietly remind myself to say, that's theirs, not mine. And that, for me, has been a real game changer. So protect your peace like it's a precious piece of jewelry, because it actually is. Your peace is more precious than anything. When you are more peaceful, my goodness, the whole world changes. You're not giving from this empty vessel, you're giving from a full vessel of more peace. And I tell you what, that people love that people can feel it. People can feel when you are giving from a place of true love, true peace, true serenity. And that impacts people in a way you couldn't even understand, rather than the frazzled, burnt out version of yourself that you think is the right thing to be doing. Because you're saying yes to everyone, but they're actually getting the frazzled version of you. You're much better off setting down boundaries and saying, no, not this time, and then being less frazzled for the time you do give them, maybe in a month's time. Anyway, we did all that on the other podcast. The next one is really, I suppose, looking at your time boundaries. So we've done emotional boundaries, guarding your inner worlds, but you know, controlling what you can, create sacred pockets of time for movement, for journaling, for meditation, for prayer. Make these a non-negotiable, and don't let those urgent but not important tasks hijack your focus. So again, some of the work that I do with clients, especially corporate stuff, is we tend to just do a list. We do a tick list, and then we write a list and we tick everything off, but we haven't actually asked ourselves what's urgent, what's not urgent, what's important, what's not important. So don't let those urgent but not important demands hijack your focus. And if you don't know what they are, make sure you spend some time figuring that out. Um, and also build that white space. We call it the art of being bored. We did a podcast on this as well. This is time where you're not doing anything. You're not listening to a podcast. You're not watching the TV. You're not doing anything. You're not doing anything. You might be walking, but that's it. Breathe, reflect, allow your imagination and allow some time for your brain to heal, to make connections in the silence, in the stillness, in the boredom. And again, this is something that this is a game changer for me, a massive game changer. As you know, some of you will know, a couple of years ago, I discovered faith. It was just the most life-changing thing for me. So in the morning, I pray. I read my Bible, and these are things that really, really set me up for a beautiful day, a really beautiful day. And I was doing other stuff. This is what works for me. I'm not saying that you have to do that in the slightest, but making sure that you carve out time for that rhythm for yourself is really, really important. Having digital and media boundaries as well. Protect your mental gateway. So we talked about emotional boundaries, time boundaries, but also those mental gateways. We've done this so many times, but not getting up and putting your phone on straight away. Stop scrolling so much. Have time out from tech. So important. This is, honestly, guys, if you have not done this, you must do this. If you are high on anxiety, if you're running on adrenaline, if you're finding yourself really worried about the future, if you're finding yourself getting into mindless arguments with people online and getting stressed about other people's views, get off social media. Get off tech. I'm not saying become like a hermit and not look at anything, but what I'm saying is you are responsible for how much you are letting into your mind. And the biggest noise is your tech. So you have to take that control, because they're not. Everything has been created to hijack your attention. You are so distracted. We are such a distracted generation. We don't even know we're doing it because we want the dopamine. But you've got to start training yourself. If you are anxious, if you are frightened, understandably, you're going to see a lot more of it online. So you need to protect your own space. Your mind is either a tended garden or you're trampling all over it with social media all the time or the news. Please do this. And relationship boundaries as well. Choose the voices you listen to wisely. Notice who energizes you, who drains you. Lean into life-giving relationships. Listen, at midlife, we can put these boundaries down. We're fed up with the bullshit, aren't we? We are fed up with people that are energy vampires. This is the time to powerfully set in your life those relationships that are life-giving, not draining. And if you have to be with people that are draining, like at work and some family members, even friendships, start limiting it. Start limiting your time, so that you make space for other people to come into your life that are truly going to breathe life into you. Really breathe life into you. I'm so lucky that I now have a beautiful community of people that breathe life into my life. And it has, again, that's been a massive game changer for me. Get into community. Be discerning about debates or divisive conversations you get into with people, either, face to face or online. Honestly, really ask yourself, is it a waste of my time? Is it a waste of my space? Do I want to be happy or do I want to be right? This is one of the things I ask myself a lot. Like, do I want to be happy and peaceful or do I want to be right? Every single time I'm like, happy and peaceful, thanks. So we've done recognize the turbulence, root yourself in truth, and reinforce your boundaries and habits. I haven't really spoken too much about habits there, but making sure that you have good physical habits, you're getting enough exercise, you're eating well. This is the whole resilience piece. You're eating well most of the time. I'm not saying be an angel, but most of the time, limit how much alcohol you're drinking, all these little things. And as I said, James and I really feel like we need to do like a whole thing around resilience to kind of back this podcast up a little bit. But also finally radiate the next R. So we've got recognize the turbulence, root yourself in truth, reinforce your boundaries and habits and guard your inner world, and radiate strength and hope to others. When we become very insular, when we're frightened and uncertain, and the world looks like a very, very scary place, we're way less likely to go out there, aren't we? We are more likely to insulate ourselves, hide ourselves, to protect ourselves. This is the complete opposite of what we need to do and should do in order to help us cope with what's going on. We are pack animals, people. Again, everything about our society has made us very inward focused, navel gazing. Me. How do I look after myself? And technology, again, it's very me, like narcissistic anonymous, isn't it? Well, it's not anonymous. It's all over social media. Look at me. This is me. This is what I'm doing. Look at my great life. And it's all this kind of division and anger and you're right and you're wrong. But actually, we as human beings, we are inherently designed to be compassionate. We have this sickness, this human condition, this human sickness now, that is driving this kind of behavior. And part of that is a very me-centered world. Our ancestors weren't like that. It was like, how can we be a team? Because we wouldn't survive without each other. We didn't survive without each other. And that's the same now. We will not survive this without each other, without the connection, without love, without community. So make sure that you don't shut yourself down. Make sure that you don't become insular. Make sure you don't start going, that's the kind of, they're right, they're wrong. I'm just going to stick with those people that I know. No, go out there in the world, into community, and see different people, different viewpoints. We need to get more variety back into our life of different opinions so we can be more compassionate and actually start healing all of this awful stuff that's going on in the world. When we're just in an echo chamber of our own world, of our own opinions, we're never going to be able to heal the world. And I know that sounds like really woo-woo, but we're never going to be able to make a difference if we don't see other people. We don't actually see the goodness in other people, even the people that we disagree with. These are really, really important to do this. So radiate community, connection, strength, and hope to others. Honestly, something that's changed massively for me, even in the last 6 months, is this drive to give into my community, to meet people. I have been changed so much by meeting such a variety of sections of society in my local area. I've been humbled, very, very humbled. That sense of pride and that natural instinct to want to validate all these sorts of things have really just been shifted in me. And it's so, so lovely to allow my heart to really be softened and see people as human beings, and to listen and to acknowledge them and not see myself as above them, not see myself as below them, but as equals. We are all equals. No one is above anyone. No one is below anyone either. So I just wanted to say, let's bring strength and hope. Let's not just complain. Let's not just harp on all the time about the bad things that are happening. Let's bring joy and love and hope and peace to each other. Let's be good voices in this madness. Let's be light voices in this madness. There are enough voices talking about how dark it is and how terrible it is and how we are doomed. There's enough of those voices. Let's not do that. Let's be voices of hope, of love, of peace, of kindness. That's the real impact. You think the shouting and the getting angry. And listen, there's a place. I'm not saying don't be a doormat. I'm not saying, don't look. I'm not saying look the other way when there's bad stuff happening. I believe that there is a place and a balance where we can stand forward in the truth and have that sense of what is right and wrong. I do, but let's do it with good hearts. Not with anger. So that's it from me. I don't even know how long that has gone on for, but I hope you've found that helpful and useful. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Is this something that resonated with you? As always, pop us an email, team@themidlifementors.com, and I am going to love you and leave you. Take care. Bye.
Yeah. You've been listening to the Midlife Mentors with Claire and James Davis.
Yeah. We'd love to hear from you. So drop us a line at info@themidlifementors.com with any questions or topic suggestions.
And make sure you join us on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. You can find us under the Midlife Mentors. Yeah. What? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode. And don't forget to take the Midlife Reset Audit now to receive personalised insights into what's holding you back from living your healthiest, happiest midlife. So go ahead and take the audit now at themidlifementors.com/audit.